Cool. I think it's 6:02 and we've got a lot of information to cover. So I think we should just go ahead and get started. Um, Walton, are you able to admit people if I take over screens? Okay,
Yep.
great.
Yeah, go for it.
Awesome. Well, before I take over your screens tonight, I just want to say again for everyone that's just joining in, welcome. Thanks for coming to our senior information parent night. It has been a long road getting to this night, and I always look forward to this opportunity to meet with parents and celebrate the amazing accomplishment of our seniors as we hit the last semester of their high school year and high school experience. And we delayed it a little bit this year just to try to get as much clarity and information as possible for you all. And so we appreciate everyone um, just the flexibility and we know that we're in it with you. I'll review the agenda in just a minute, but our hope tonight is um, to do a handful of things. One, to convey some really important information about the end of the year to make sure that we're all on the same page for what it's going to look like to have a successful last quarter of your student's senior year. I know we've got some students with us as well, so just a congratulations to you, seniors. Um, the last year has probably been nothing like you imagined it to be. It certainly hasn't been for any of us. And we are committed to doing all that we can to really make this last quarter as successful as possible and to make you feel celebrated and loved, knowing that you are leaving behind a legacy at Ocklawahamie High School. So we want to go over the end of year events and then make sure that there's an opportunity to answer any questions that we have, that you might have. So I have a few notes of what I want to accomplish before, because I know once I take over your screen, it's kind of like, I feel like I'm just talking to a bunch of slides. So a few notes before I start sharing the screen. First off, we've disabled the chat so that people can focus on the information that's coming in. However, if you have questions, please feel free to go ahead and send them to the chat directly to me. I believe that myself, Ms. Walton, and Ms. Powers will be able to see those questions, and then we can answer them at the end of the night. We know where the presentation is going and some of the information that's coming. And so we want to make sure that we can get through all of the information before we start taking questions. There might be opportunities where we pause during the presentation to see if there are any questions. So at that point, I would ask that you raise your hand. And when I say raise your hand, you can go like this, but I might not see you. And so there's a way that you can raise your hand by clicking on your name and then in the participant list, and then it says raise hand. And so you'll be able to raise your hand, and that actually brings your name to the top of the participant list and allows us to see that we have a question that's coming in, and we can then call on you and you can unmute yourself. That's the other thing that we're going to ask, is that you stay muted. I think by now we've probably all experienced those awkward Zoom meetings where someone starts talking, and it's always the worst when they're like, this meeting is so boring, and it comes through and everyone hears what's being said. I also want you to know that if anyone has it on speaker view, it actually brings your screen in like the large view on their screen. So we all know exactly who said it. So just make sure you leave your screen muted, and then we'll try to get through as much information as possible and as quickly and as efficiently as possible. I also want to do a few quick introductions of people who are going to be sharing with you tonight. The reason I'm going to introduce them now is because as soon as I introduce them, I'm going to start sharing my screen. And then depending on how you have your screen set up, you're mostly going to see my slides, and you might not be able to clearly see who's talking. So I want you to know who's talking and when they're talking. So that gives you a point of contact should you have questions afterwards. And it just helps you connect with someone who's talking. So the first two people that I want to introduce are a couple staff members that have been working really closely with our seniors and our senior liaisons to really pull together some amazing events for our seniors. So I want to give a shout out to Miss Powers, who's one of our amazing associate principals. So Miss Powers, say hello and wave to our
Hello, senior families.
Yeah.
Thank you for being here.
And then also a shout out to Miss Walton, our amazing leadership teacher who has just does so much work for our students. So thanks, Miss Walton, for all that work. Can you say hi? People will see who you are.
Oh, hi, y'all. So nice to see you. Thanks for being here.
We also have our brand new college and career advisor. And I say brand new because she's new to that position, but not new to the job and definitely not new to Akalani's. And that's Miss Debbie Levy. So go ahead and say hi, Debbie, and people will put a face with the
Hi
name.
there, Debbie Levy here. It's so nice to see all of you. I see a lot of familiar faces. I look forward to the years ahead.
Yeah. Debbie actually had 3 students already graduate through Akalani. So she's been in your shoes, senior parents. She knows what it's like. And she's got another student who's coming through. So she's living that Zoom life as well. And then we have 4 amazing senior parent liaisons who have been supporting these students for the last 4 years, pulling off fundraisers and class events and working with class officers. And it has not been an easy job, as I think we can all agree with what 2020 has thrown us and what we're rolling into it this year. So I'll just say the names one at a time, and then if you can say hello and wave, then people will know who's there. So we got Millie Tooker. There we go. She's in the top left-hand corner of my screen if you can't see her. Yeah, yeah, thanks, Millie. And then Sierra Higgins.
Hi, everyone.
Awesome. Mary Caprio. There we go.
That was impressive.
Perfect. And then Darcy Olsen.
Hi.
Great. And then the last person that I want to introduce you to, and then I promise we'll get on with the presentation for the night, and that is Gail Burley. She is our lead parent liaison coordinator, works with all of our parent liaisons, has been through this process before, and has just been working incredibly hard with all our classes, but really doing a ton of work to keep our community connected. So Gail, thanks for your work. Say hello to everyone.
Hi, everyone. Welcome, seniors.
Yeah. Okay, awesome. I'm officially going to take over your screens, so you can just sit back, relax, enjoy your dinner, and we will go from there if I can get this to work. Let me start. Sometimes if I have to present first. Just lean into the awkward silence as we go. Here we go. Okay, so let me go ahead and move this over. All right, Gail, you just happen to be on my screen. Are you seeing? You're seeing the main title slide, right? My computer's been doing some weird Zoom share features. So here's the agenda of what we have for y'all tonight. We are going to talk about some of the programming and tiers in terms of what that's going to look like. There's going to be some updates on college and career, talking about miscellaneous activities, senior breakfast, homecoming, senior memory frames, graduation lays, senior speaker series, senior week, senior prom, our car rally, and then our end of year events, time of reflection and graduation. And we're ending with a raffle drawing, which is the first time we've had a raffle drawing at our senior event. You know, we're going to keep you on your edge of your seat waiting until the very end for that to happen here. Okay, I wanted to talk real quickly about what our guidelines are for end of year programming. And of course, as I was developing this, the CDPH comes out with this statement that by April 1st, they will have created guidelines for schools for end of year events, and they specifically name graduation. I put April 4th on here because our understanding is that that'll come out on April 1st. It'll have to like filter down to the districts. We're going to have to meet as a school district and make sure that our plans are in line with the guidelines from the Department of Health. I've worked really closely with the other 4 principals and with our superintendent, Dr. Nickerson, to develop what we're about to show you. We do believe that they are on the conservative side of being aligned with what we think the CDPH is going to be putting out. So we feel pretty confident that what we have here, we will be able to support and run with our programming. But like all things, we're holding loosely pending any change or anything else that might come out from CDPH. But I will outline for you and I'll show you how we've put this together without having specific guidance from the Department of Health on what this is going to look like. So we've taken from the Blueprint for a Safer Economy, we kind of pulled the following things into our considerations of what we believe that we can do. So I've highlighted them for you here. So this is in their Blueprint for a Safer Economy, and it kind of outlines by tier with purple, red, orange, and yellow. We took into account some of the events that we're considering might be like movie type of events, outdoor movies, potentially even some indoor things, like we're thinking of our time reflection. It's kind of a little indoor movie-ish. And time of reflection also in other places. We rent out the church for our time of reflection in previous years. So we kind of took that into account with building our tiered approach. Outdoor live events. With this guidance, you can see some of the April 1 updates that they have on here. So again, we kind of use that to help kind of guide our logic and thinking around these events. And then just gatherings like performance limits, because that's kind of falls in line with what some of our end of the year events look like as well. So we took these sort of guidelines and then put together what we think we can do. We do have it built out under purple, red, orange, and yellow tiers. I'm only sharing tonight the red and the yellow because we think that's likely where we will be, or the red and the orange, excuse me, because we think that's likely where we will be. But we can increase our capacity should we get into a yellow tier, or and then we're hopeful that we don't think we're going to need to like go back into the purple for what that looks like. So if we are in the red for an event, we have these following requirements. And again, these were put together even before that 3-foot sort of school thing has come out. So we will update when we meet on or in the beginning of April to figure out what this will look like. But we kind of determined as the 4 comprehensive high schools that we can do some indoor with modifications if we think we need to hold something indoor. That will keep our capacity limited to 25% or 100 people, whatever's less. And then that will keep 6 feet of distance. So that's kind of like our requirements for these events. So what that means is because of that 25% or 100 people, it does mean that graduation would have to be in cohorts. We might be able to push it to as little as 2 cohorts. We would still offer a live streaming service, and we would have limited guest attendance for graduation. And we're going to talk a little bit more about graduation towards the end of tonight's presentation. And I can tell you a little bit more about what we think that will look like. We're also going to talk about senior ball, but again, what this would look like in a red is that it would be in cohorts, outdoor, physically distant, and we'd have stations and staggered arrival times should we be in the red. I know that seems sort of strange for a senior ball. I mean, it's all strange if you think about it, but I do think we have a pretty dynamic and I would say creative approach to how we can make this like a whole class event. And again, you're going to hear about that tonight. For time of reflection, because of the nature of time of reflection, the performances, wanting to be able to show videos with, like a photo slideshow, that sort of stuff. If we're in the red when we hit time of reflection, we are going to keep that as a virtual event. We think we had conversations that really time of reflection, we want it to be like this unified experience. And not have something that we do in like a cohorted or group approach for time of reflection. So if we're in the red, it will be a virtual event. For should we be in the orange, which we're really hopeful that we will be, and we know it's a little bit of a race between the vaccines and the variants, but we're hopeful that we can get to an orange. Our requirements increase to 50% or 200 people with 6 feet of distance, and that we would do with any sort of live audience, we would do this assigned seating. We would ask for travel to be limited to within 120 miles as outlined in those blueprints, and that we can go to as large as 20% capacity in our wherever we're holding these events. So for graduation, we think we could push to have a full class graduation. We know that's beyond that 200 person limit. However, when we look at what we're able to do with our schools and lunches, that we could hold a full graduation event with the entire class there at once, physically distant on the field. We would have to have some restrictions on attendance and what that would look like. And again, we'll speak a little bit more to this. Senior ball would be in larger cohorts. Everyone can arrive and be there at the same time. So it would be a little bit of a less staggered approach. Again, it would have to stay outdoors. And then time of reflection, we would push to have all students there at one time without families, that we'd be able to stream out to the families. Even if the families wanted to like stay and wait in cars and watch on phones or stay home and watch or whatever, but we would stream out to the families, but the kids would get to be together for that time of reflection event. So that's kind of our tiered approach to some of the major end of year events. And it does apply to some of these other events as well that we're going to hear tonight. But we're going to stop there because we're actually going to go in a little more detail on those events later on in the presentation. But for now, I want to turn it over to Ms. Levy, who can talk to us about college and career for our seniors. So Ms. Levy, go ahead and take it away.
Hi, everyone. Hello again. I want to just talk to you for a few minutes, and I want you to remember, students in particular, that the theme of what I'm talking about right now is that I'm here to connect with you. If anyone has any support they need for college decisions or career decisions, I want you to know I'm very available. I have academy times that are open. I'm also available for Zoom. It says Zoom on Monday mornings, but honestly, I'm available a lot more than that to support students and families. There's other ways to connect with me on Instagram. I want to give a reminder to all seniors that might be looking at community college. I'm available to help with DVC applications. They're a tiny bit complicated, and I can meet with students in person or by Zoom to help walk you through the application process. Or if you're looking at other community colleges, I want to make sure you know that I can sit down with you via Zoom or in person to go through them. There is a upcoming deadline of May 8th if you want to take fall classes and get the classes that you're most excited about. So just kind of a heads up, or if you have friends that you think might be interested in DVC, please let them know to contact me. Again, I'm available. In the spirit of more celebrations, Senior Awards Night is going to be on Thursday, May 20th. So please mark your calendars. There'll be more information coming for that event as well. Want to also remind you, seniors in particular, that after spring break, we're going to celebrate all of your future endeavors. There'll be some details coming out on other ways that we can make you feel celebrated in the springtime. A quick reminder, there are quite a few scholarship opportunities available. The College and Career Center website. You can email me, call me, and I can walk you through the different scholarships. I can even help you with the application process. Anything to help make it easier for you to access some of these very generous opportunities. And then one of the final thing I want to leave you with is the senior exit survey. It's a very important reminder. This is found on Naviance, and you'll be getting more details about this and a lot more reminders. But in order for the office to send out your final transcripts, you must log on to Naviance and enter your acceptances. And also, if you could please let us know the schools who were missing out on all of your amazing talents. That's also very helpful. But in order to send out your final transcripts, you do need to go actively onto Naviance and enter in your decisions. So please remember to do that. And there'll, of course, be more announcements about that. And finally, please spread the word to friends and siblings to connect with me. That is the message I want to leave with you. And I look forward to seeing you all. You're always welcome in the office or any way to connect with me.
All right, thank you, Ms. Levy. Really appreciate you taking the time tonight. All right, Millie, I think I'm turning it over to you. Yeah. Great.
Yep.
Take it away.
Hi, everyone. I'm Millie Tooker. I'm one of the senior liaisons. And first, we want to introduce our amazing officers. I don't think they're all here, but if they are, maybe you can unmute and say hi real quick. Lita, Bella, Lila, and Alie. They've been great. They work so hard. They're so organized. They're so creative. We love working with them. We also want to say thank you and kind of just shout out how great the Adopt a Senior was. It's been really fun. The kids have just loved the surprises. We're going to be doing the front door decorating again that we did in the fall. We want to do that the week before graduation. So we put some ideas up here, some pictures, and if you have stuff left from the fall or you want to add. Also, the lawn signs, if you saw last year that the seniors had, are going to be provided again by APC. Thank you to them. And there'll be a surprise for your seniors. So keep that quiet. And then we're going to have a few more exciting surprises during the spring for them as well.
Hi, everyone. I wanted to share with you a really great opportunity that we have for our seniors and our senior parent with them this year. Thanks, Jackson. We are offering sorry, my son's working on Lexia, so we're competing for time. We are offering a senior and parent self-defense class. It will be on April 19th from 6 to 8 p.m. here on our campus at Akalani's. The maximum size is 20 seniors and then their parents. We are hoping parents and moms, parents and aunts, parents and sister or seniors and a sister. That would be great. The cost is $80 a person, and then that would be for the senior. And then if with your parent, it would be another $80. You would pay that night. It is a first come, first serve that evening. We'll have a sign up genius that will go out. But we are going to have the overall theme of the evening for our senior girls and their parents, with some emphasis on you are leaving in the fall, possibly going out of town. You're going to a new school. You're going to a new place. How can you protect yourself and take care of yourself? So the person that's going to be hosting this, her name is Ramona. We've been working with her at our school site. She's fabulous. She's amazing. She's a retired police officer. She was the 7th female to be hired in the Hayward police force. She's great. So here's just a quick video of who Ramona is and what the class is about.
You have to commit to the fact that I am in danger, I am threatened, my kid is threatened, I need to react, and you have to react explosively and quickly. Put them down! No! Right! And back. Right! Nobody deserves to be a victim. Don't act like a victim. That's a stance! No! So just be cautious and be aware. Don't put yourself at risk situations, at risk locations, and don't engage in at risk activity. Jab cross, strike! Go! Strike! Go!
So that is a little window into what Ramona will be offering that evening. After this class, after we finish tonight, we'll send out this presentation, and then there will be a sign up genius so that you can go ahead and sign up. Welcome to my family.
Hello.
I love it. I will say, Powers, I'm not sure if I heard you say, but Ramona is currently working in our school district as our COVID compliance officer. So it will be a COVID compliant experience. And she is great. So I hope people take advantage of that. All right, I'll mute myself and turn the slide here.
Okay, hi everyone, welcome again. This is Darcy Olsen talking, another liaison, and I'm actually going to toss it over to the wonderful and appropriately dressed Julie Gladden, who is one of our chairs for our first official senior only event, the traditional senior breakfast. She's also chairing it with Lisa Pasalacqua. So Julie, I know you're here if you want to take it away. And
Thanks, Darcy. Aloha. Senior breakfast, as Darcy said, is one of the first events to kick off the senior year. And it is a great step to bond and hang out with a lot of your senior friends in your cohorts. What we're asking you, parents, is a little nudge from home. We need you to get those kids to school a little bit earlier so they can enjoy a wonderful, free, amazing, social distant senior breakfast with cohorts with great food, music, food from Rancho Cantina, and of course, a senior raffle where 2 lucky people could win a parking spot at graduation. So please let us count on you to get those kids up and at them to school on the 15th and 16th of April, 7:30 to 8:30. Aloha.
Awesome. I actually have an update about the senior panoramic. Julie, I have to say one of my first evening events at Akalani was with you as a class liaison, where you made me dance out on stage as if I was coming on to an Ellen show. So I'm not surprised that you are full theme mode here for tonight. For the senior panoramic, we are working with Studio One, and on that morning, in their senior shirt or a tropical theme, they'll go out to the football field. They will sit 3 feet apart on the bleachers. Each morning, they're going to be someone there directing them, and then they'll stitch together an entire panoramic of the class that will be available. So seniors, be there, don't miss it. And I'll turn the slide here.
thank you, Julie and Mr. Bell. That's great fun. That's going to be really fun. So this next slide is about homecoming, which the leadership kids and are very, very excited that we're able to do kind of a scaled down version. So as you see, it will be the end of April. The kids pick the theme, which you can see there is decades. The 80s will be the seniors sub theme, which I think most of us can enjoy that fun theme. Most importantly, we encourage you to encourage your senior, if they're not listening in, to attend the informational meeting, which will be this Thursday, March 25th during Academy. And our leadership kids will have lots of info. So basically, you've all been through homecoming. It's going to be just as fun, but just a little smaller scale, still hallway decorating. Our kids will be doing the senior deck, which is a great tradition for the seniors. Dress up days. They have some great ideas and really great music for the skits. That's all going to be COVID friendly and small cohorts. So more to come on that after spring break.
Okay, and now my name is Sierra Higgins, and I'm going to be speaking to you about the memory frames. So the memory frames are a long-standing Akalani's tradition that we do for the seniors at graduation. And basically you pick up in some way an 11 by 17 frame. You can buy these yourself at Michael's, or you can still order from the web store through March 31st if you haven't done that yet. If you do buy them through the web store, then we will label them and get them back to you to put the pictures of your student in. Sometimes the kids do these themselves, and sometimes it's a parent project. And one super easy way to do it is through Costco photos online. They have like a collage photo where you just plug in photos and it prints up this collage for you that you just slide right into the frame. The frames are displayed at graduation and sometimes a little bit before graduation, and then the boards are picked up after the graduation ceremony. You do want to make sure that you have your student's name on the front of the frame somewhere, and your name or your student's name and phone number on the back in case you don't pick them up, and we can get them back to you after graduation.
Okay, this is Darcy again talking. So real quickly, another fun graduation element is, many of you might know, we sell white graduation leis. They're beautiful white flower leis that come from Hawaii. It's a class fundraiser actually for the juniors, so they're organizing it. If you haven't already done so, you can purchase one on the web store, the Akalani's web store, until March 31st, and then your senior can pick them up on the day of graduation. And it's just kind of a nice surprise for them, and a nice Akalani's tradition that looks nice with the blue robes, and it helps out the junior class for some fundraising.
Powers, do you want to? I'll talk about this. We have always tried to have speakers come in and talk to our seniors, and it's always looked a little bit different, but last year we ended up doing it on Mondays, and it was really successful. I think some of the professionals that we brought in just had some awesome advice to give to our graduating seniors as they enter the real world, and so we wanted to offer that again this year. So we have 3 coming your way. The first is with a Lafayette resident, actually, who is the president and CEO of Eat, Learn, Play, which is Steph and Aisha Curry's foundation. They work a lot in Oakland. So his name is Chris. He is going to just talk about his experience, how he got into the role, and what he can offer around leadership and taking advantage of opportunities. So May 3rd, 1 p.m., date for your calendar. May 10th at 1, we are bringing in a female that I got introduced to actually through a senior, Lexi Sofield. And she's going to talk just about some real world finance for our seniors as they leave high school, enter college. We know we don't have a finance talk at Akalani's, and I think it's super important. And so she's going to speak to a lot of that, things to look out for, what to do, what not to do, in all of that. And then the final one, which I think is always a senior favorite, is bringing back a variety of alumni from last year's class to just share about their experience with whatever steps that they took. So we will have students who attended out-of-state schools, in-state schools, community college, gap year. I think people that can talk to every experience and just offer some advice as our seniors take the same steps in their journey. So 3 dates, really looking forward to it, and we'll send reminders as we get closer.
The next will be the senior week and senior sunset. It's kind of their last big week celebrating together. There's going to be a whole variety of activities. You can see there a video, awards, lunchtime activities, yearbook signing, the senior sunset on the football field, And all seniors, even we want to remind, even the seniors that decided to stay home and remain virtual, please encourage them to come to all these events as their last kind of hurrah before graduation.
Okay, I am hopefully unmuted. Yeah, can everybody hear me? I am Mary Caprio, one of the 4 senior parent liaisons, and I'm so excited to be able to talk about this slide, given the fact that our kids have yet to have a ball or a prom in their high school career. So mark calendars for the evening of May 15th. And again, we're so excited that we can do this for the kids. It's going to be a great night for them. It'll look a little different, but hopefully they don't know the difference. Because of our COVID limitations, prom will be held this year on campus. We've got a great layout, kind of 3 separate venues going. We are limiting it this year to Occolani seniors only. Again, COVID restrictions held us to that decision. And I think it's a great way for the kids because they haven't had much time together to just bond as that senior class. As Mr. Bell mentioned earlier, the kids will move through the evening in groups, moving through the stations with their groups. It will involve a sign-up genius at some point, but the students will receive, everyone will receive a printed invitation to senior prom sometime mid-April, and we are encouraging the kids to sign up with friends, come as a group, bring a date if you want to, definitely not a necessity. We will, of course, be physically distancing the kids, masks will be required, etc. So we're just thrilled that we can, we've been allowed to put this on the calendar this year, and the leadership kids have just been incredible coming up with some great entertainment ideas, and it'll be a great night for the kids. So yeah, mark your calendars for that.
Hi, everybody. This is Gail Burley, and I'm the senior, I'm the head liaison, but I'll talk to you about the car rally because I had the great fortune and opportunity to help plan this last year for our seniors. And backed by popular demand, it's the car rally. So it was so successful last year. What we thought was something that we would just do for the seniors last year was so successful that we've kind of decided to make it a tradition. And the Lafayette Police, the Chamber, everybody is totally behind this and super excited. So it's not only for our seniors and senior families, but it's really for the community too, to come out and celebrate our seniors and kind of celebrate the community. So we've set the date for May 21st at 5 p.m. We'll still be working out the details of where we'll stage it, but each participant is encouraged to decorate their car with balloons, car paint, signs, and it's helpful if you have the name of the student on the outside of the car. So as you're driving through town, people know who it is. Last year, what really works, it's fun to have the parents in the cars driving so that the kids can be in the back seat with the windows open or not hanging out the sunroof, which is not really legal, but they can wave and they can enjoy it while the parents are driving and being safe. So this isn't really just a kid experience. We encourage parents, and we got so much feedback that the parents had so much fun being in the car. And also along with that, it is really to be just your family in the car. It's not for kids to gather in one car. So just to kind of, this is really about family kids in their own car. So we will be getting more information out to you guys later as we get the details together. But also the Lafayette Police, hopefully I'm not talking out of turn, Andrea, I know she's been in close contact, but I think we are getting a part of the street shut down for this, which we didn't have last year, but the police were like, oh no, we got to shut down the street this year. So, so hopefully that is happening too. And we encourage members of the community to come out safely, social distance, and cheer on the community or cheer on the kids. So it's really a fun event, not to be missed. So yeah, that'll be Friday before finals week and before graduation. So just look for more details, but it's a super fun event. Thanks.
Yeah, we are trying to get, we're working with Lafayette PD to get, we can't shut down the whole strip that we want, but at least to try to get the downtown lane blocked downtown. So as you drive through downtown, you don't have to stop at stoplights or whatever. And it is a very, last year it was this amazing community event, and we encourage everyone to participate and tell people to come out and cheer on our seniors.
Okay, this is Sierra again, talking about time of reflection. Time of reflection, for those of you who don't know, is a time for the students to get together. It's a student planned, non-denominational event. It's sort of like a baccalaureate, but with our own traditional twist. It's an opportunity for reflection, inspiration. It's supposed to be inspirational in nature. There's usually speeches and performances by the senior class members, sometimes musical performances. The kids are looking at like having a poetry performance this year. And then there are speeches by faculty, some selected faculty, selected by the students' faculty as well. Traditionally, this has been indoors and an event that the kids, that the parents, the families all come to. Likely that will not be the case this year. I mean, what we're hoping to do this year, and again, of course, this depends on the tier, is we're looking to have it on the Acalanes football field, students only, and then it will be live streamed for the families and friends. We feel like it's really important for the kids to be together for this event, as it's a way for them to reflect and celebrate each other. And so that's what we're hoping to do. And the leadership kids have some great ideas. They want to set up kind of a walkthrough with physical art displayed, and they've got art students working on the invitation and the program and things like that. It's sort of a dressy event. Collared shirts, dresses. We hand out flowers to any student who wants one, and it's just kind of a rite of passage right before graduation. It'll be the Sunday, May 23rd, the Sunday before graduation.
Okay, I believe graduation is me. So graduation it's Friday, May 28th. We do have a mandatory student rehearsal from 9 to 11 a.m. that morning. Finals week that week is Monday through Thursday, so there's no school on Friday, May 28th, but the seniors will have to come to campus at 9 in the morning. We do take attendance there, and we will be serving breakfast, obviously COVID compliant, and but serving breakfast to the seniors starting at 8:30, and that will kind of roll us into it like a little past 9. We'll be sending out some communication to the students around what graduation will look like, their assignments for where they need to go that morning. We have teacher facilitators to help facilitate and gather our students for what the procession to the graduation ceremony will look like. They'll start in those classes, and then we will get them lined up and to walk out to, hopefully we're on the field all together for our graduation. So we do have cap and gowns have been ordered, and they'll be picked up in May during lunch through the, we'll distribute them out of the front office. If you need a cap or gown, whether you didn't order one or for whatever reason, we have plenty to help support. So just reach out to your counselor if you need that, and we can make that work for you. I want to remind you just of kind of what the couple tiers looked like for graduation, which is why we're a little vague on what it will actually look like the day of, but we will be communicating out as we hit May so that everyone's aware of what graduation will look like. If we're still in the red tier, we do plan on, at this point, our plan is not to do graduation like we did last year over the course of an entire day, walking down the hall through the front quad. We are still planning on and have already rented the equipment and the chairs and reserved that to have great graduation on the football field. And hopefully it can be all together. If we're in the red tier, we will have to do cohorts, and that might we might try to push into 2 cohorts. Potentially we'll have to do 3 if we do have to stay at 100 people. We will try to get, at this point, as many attendees as possible to be there, family members to be there, whether that's 2 per house or whether we can do a whole household. And we'll figure out what that looks like as we get closer to that time. My hope is that we're in the orange, that we'll be able to do all of our seniors together on the football field. We'll still have to do assigned seating and minimize the attendance in the football field. However, at this point, we're thinking we can do any immediate family household members can be there. So even if a student has 2 households, is part of a 2 household family, that all of those family members can be there for that student. We are still planning on live streaming regardless of what that looks like, so that students and families can share the link and have people watch on. I'm recognizing that there's a slide that we didn't include in here, and that is a slide about grad night. We are putting all of our efforts into a senior ball experience that will operate and feel very similar to a senior grad night. At this point, not at this point, there won't be a grad night this year. And so we want families to plan on what those celebrations will look like for their seniors in a way that will still emphasize keeping seniors safe while allowing them to feel celebrated for their accomplishments over the last 4 years as well. I can speak more to some of the decisions around grad night. If interested, I'd be happy to talk as well. A major part was just not having any clarity on what spaces are available to rent, and what, typically it's Umago or a cruise ship, and at that point they're not renting to large. At this point, they're not renting to large groups, and there are some restrictions with hosting on campus for what that looks like in terms of liabilities as well. Okay, so I think the liaisons will wrap up with this slide, and then I'm going to stop sharing screen and we can answer some questions that came up over the course of the presentation. But I think there is a raffle drawing. So liaisons, take it away.
That's me. Okay, so we just want to make sure that you stay informed. There's a lot of information coming out right now for everybody. And I know you're getting inundated with daily dawns and the newsletter and the boosters and that, everything that's coming every day. But there's a lot of information about the senior class specifically. So if you're scanning, at least scan for that. Make sure you're getting the newsletter and the daily dawn and the emails. And if you follow, if you're on Instagram, if you follow Akalani's 2021, that's a great way to find out what's coming, down the chute for the class, because that's put out by our officers and they're pretty good about posting on Instagram. If you have any questions that aren't addressed after tonight, you can reach out to any of us for liaisons, and our emails are here at the bottom of this screen. And we have a raffle. So back in the fall, we asked if you wanted to participate in a raffle. It was for 1 parking place and 2 reserved seats at graduation. And we're raffling off 2 of those spots. So lots of people did that. And the money will go towards our prom or some other senior expense for this spring. And so I have all the tickets here. It's all very legit, I promise.
Yeah,
And
you can't win, right?
You know, I did buy 8 raffle tickets, so I sure hope I don't win. Okay, here we go. Okay, the first winner is Christy Winkles. Yay, Christy!
Christy, are you on here?
If you're on here, Christy, you should unmute and, let us cheer for you. Okay. And then the second.
Winkles on the call. Is she here?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah.
Oh, there you are. Yay, good job. There you are.
I'm a winner.
We'll give you more we'll give you more details on that, Christy. And then the second one, this is not me. Julie Gladden. I mean, what the heck? It's legit, people. Okay, so Travis, I'm going to put it back to you, or to Catherine, or to Powers for the questions.
Well, first off, that was really fun. So thanks for organizing the raffle. I appreciate that. We had a handful of questions that came in as a direct chat to us. I also want to say there's been a handful of direct chats about just the appreciation to you senior parent liaisons for your work. And I just echo that. So a huge thank you. Thanks for all your work. The last message that came in about that was just about the beautiful plans to celebrate our seniors is very special, and it's a tall order due to COVID. And so I couldn't echo that sentiment any better. Okay. So a question that came in, Christine Murray was asking about a time frame for graduation. Yeah, we only talked about the rehearsal, and at this point we didn't put the time on there only because if we have to do cohorts, if we're in the red, it's going to look different. Graduation is typically at 6 p.m. And students usually arrive around at 4:30, and so we're hoping that that's the time frame, but we'll communicate that out once we get. We're thinking by May, we should be able to make a determination by May 1st, and then we can kind of hold to that and actually start our planning. Catherine, someone wanted to know the name of that speaker from B of A. There might be a in-town connection here that's going to happen.
Super embarrassing. Let me look up her name because I've only communicated with her over email, and I'll get back to you.
Yeah, while you're doing that, there was a question about when frames will be distributed if they were ordered on the web store. Do we know an answer to that?
Yeah, I got that question as well. And we plan to order them as soon as that web store closes on April 1st. So order yours if you'd like one. They typically take about 2 weeks to come in. And then if your student has returned to hybrid, we will get it to them on the day that they are on campus. And if your student or you're the student are on distance learning, you'll get an email from us and we'll coordinate pickup so that you can get it from us. So like mid-April.
Yeah. A couple suggestions about prom and ways to maybe move forward with that. Again, we're keeping our fingers crossed for what that end of year guidance will look like, and we will update you and hope to have it as restrictive free as possible when it comes to the COVID compliance that we have to adhere to. A question about the no regional travel within 120 miles for graduation. That's just what is outlined in the Blueprint for Safer Economy. And what that would mean is that at this point, we don't anticipate that we're going to be allowing guests in for graduation anyways. We would encourage the live stream, but that could totally change. And if we can accommodate, we totally want to accommodate. What the Blueprint for Safer Economy outlines by the CDPH is in that orange tier, I believe it is. I get my colors confused. I just know blue is the best color, so let's let's get to blue. In that blueprint for safer economy, it says that at that capacity that we shouldn't allow anyone coming to a specific location within 120 miles of like a radius around that location to help with contact tracing and minimizing the spread of COVID. And I think, man, so many messages of thanks coming in. So just know, senior parent liaisons, you're incredibly appreciated. And I have that same sentiment and appreciation. So anything else before we close for
I
the
just
day?
have two other questions. Sorry, Travis. One, the B of A speaker, her name is Jill Schwartz, and she's lovely. So if you know her, even better. And then the other thing that I just wanted to say, and I said this to one of the students in the chat, seniors, you are 1,000 times worth celebrating. And we are so committed to making this the best April and May ever. So please know that, like, you don't need to thank us. Really, we're thanking you. You deserve to be celebrated. We can't wait. And all we need for you to do is to show up, right? So we are so excited for these events. And then last question, Travis, this is probably to you. How many days in advance do we need to be in COVID tier to manipulate numbers for larger attendance at events?
I don't know the direct answer to that. We'll have to see what comes out in the guidance. You know, it's really more about our planning. I think if we our hope is that we can kind of structure things so that we can hold as loosely as possible and kind of like wait and then see if we can hit a tier and then be able to easily switch and move into a less restrictive experience for our students on any one of those events. So it kind of depends on you know, what that will look like. Yeah, I did see a couple questions coming in about, you know, vaccinations and graduation. And at this point, there's not a ton that we can do around that because there's no way to guarantee vaccinations and what that's going to look like. And I'm not entirely positive around the legalities of even trying to figure out if people are vaccinated. So I'm not entirely sure. One last question that came in: how can people find out if they ordered a frame?
Email me.
Great. Kay Walton.
Or look on your web store receipt if you know how to do that.
Yeah. Kay Walton at auhsdschools.org. I'm putting it in the chat right now.
And just a reminder, we will link the slide deck in the APC newsletter. If you know of people who missed it, we also recorded this and are happy to link the audio. So, and the liaisons are happy to answer any questions.
Perfect. Everyone, thank you so much for joining in tonight. Again, another appreciation to everyone who spoke and presented. Really appreciate it. Senior officers, thank you. Senior liaisons, thank you. And have a wonderful night. Go class of 2021. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Go seniors.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Thank you.